Hey, good afternoon, guys. This is Jason Flame, host of the Master Motivation Podcast. And here we are. Today is take two. I apologize for yesterday. We had some technical difficulties, but we got a much better connection today, and I'm excited for our guest. So let me introduce our guest and read a quick bio for you guys. This is Manny Gamburyan, who is an Armenian mixed martial artist who has competed in the UFC's lightweight, featherweight, and bantamweight divisions. A professional competitor since 1999, he was a cast member of Spike TV's The Ultimate Fighter 5 and also competed in World Extreme Cagefighting and King of the Cage. In May 1991, Gamburyan's family relocated from Armenia to the United States. Shortly after his arrival, he began training in Judo at Gokor Chivichyan's and LeBell's Hayastan MMA Academy, quickly becoming one of the top judokan in the country, winning junior nationals less than 2 years later. He went on to win Junior Nationals 8 times, the Junior Olympics once, and was a member of the 2000 Junior World Team. Later, Gamburyan also began training in Kyokushin Karate at age 15. Gamburyan's professional record stands at 15 wins, 10 losses, and 1 no contest. His wins include 2 knockouts, 7 by submission, and 6 by decision. Manny, thanks for being on the show today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, this is exciting because we get to talk a little bit about coming to this country for you and making a lifestyle change, becoming one of the first, if ever, to compete in 3 different divisions in the UFC. Also being on the Spike TV Ultimate Fighter. Many friends and family that are watching may be fans, so would love to get their feedback and any questions as we go. So, I mean, let's just kind of start right off the bat. How did you get involved in martial arts?
Well, I'm going to start from here that I came to the States 1991, May, with my family, obviously, my mom, my dad, and my brother. We got here May 31st of 1991. And after like 4 or 5 months, I started training with Gokor Chivichyan at Hayastan Academy in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
I was an active kid, and I always liked sports. My dad, growing up, watching him playing soccer, being athletic, lifting weights. So I guess I got it from my dad a little bit. So I got into it, to be honest, and I love the sport of judo. And I started training at 1991 October, and I started competing at a year later.
Wow.
And I became my first national championship was in 1994. I fought 11 times. First, 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 my fight I lost, and then I had to win 9 fights in a row, and then face the same guy again, the 10th one, and then I beat him again, and then I had to win one more time because we were 1-1. So it was a great journey before that. Uh, until today, I still believe in my heart that judo is the toughest sport I've ever done in my whole entire life.
Mm-hmm.
It might sound probably crazy. I've done a lot of sports in my life, and uh, I played baseball, soccer, football in high school. Obviously, I trained MMA. I did wrestling. I did grappling. I did jiu-jitsu. I competed in jiu-jitsu tournaments, but I was fall in love with judo. It was it was so attached to my heart that I really wanted to make the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
I made it to the Worlds 2000 for representing United States. I was honored. I was honored, to compete the Worlds and representing the United States. So it
Mm-hmm.
was amazing career experience. And then from there, I got back, and I was actually started fighting when I was not even 17 years old in Tijuana. Obviously, it was illegal here. It's not in Sure Dog. You can't even find those fights. I did 2 fights in Mexico, Tijuana. Uh, and then when I was 17 and a half, and uh, they said you have to wait another 6 months because you cannot be 17 and a half. You have to be 18 to compete in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was 18 years old, uh, I believe I was uh, 19 when I fought Sean Shirk uh, in Judo Challenge. The reason I fought Sean Shirk, there's a thing behind this. A lot of people don't know, and I wanna share with you guys. Uh, when I was fighting a Judo Challenge in St. Louis, Illinois, uh, promoted by Randy Green when he passed away a long time ago. Uh, I was 167 pounds champion. I was supposed to fight Aaron Riley for the belt. I beat Pat Benson first round, and then I had to fight the winner of Aaron Riley and Sam Morgan. So I ended up fighting Sam Morgan because Sam Morgan beat Aaron Riley, so he submitted him, and I submitted Benson. So I fought Sam Morgan for the title, and I beat him, and I got the Shooto Challenge 170 pounds belt. That time, Carl was fighting at 180, 185. My cousin Carl Parisian.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he had a rivalry against Sean Shirk. Sean Shirk beat Carl twice in his career, and I stepped up and I said, "No one's gonna beat my cousin two in a row. I'm vacating this belt. I'm moving up a weight class, and I want to challenge Sean Shirk." So I took the challenge. It was a back and forth fight. He was so much heavier, so much bigger. He was on steroids like everyone else. That even that time he was so much bigger than me. But it was a 15 minutes fight. We ended up in the 15 minutes. So and the judges were like, we got to go extra 3 minutes overtime. So we competed at 18 minutes. Uh, it was a very close fight, but he won the decision.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I got back. I did a couple of jiu-jitsu tournaments, and a year 2000, I competed to judo, obviously the nationals, and then the internationals, and then Pan Americans, and then the Miami Youth in Miami, and I got qualified for the Worlds, representing the United States. After I got back from that, I took seventh in the world in judo. I got back, and I was kind of hurt, and I was like 20 years old, being a bad kid, and I love watching the UFC. It was kind of my dream. Like I want to fight in the UFC one day. It just
Mm-hmm.
looks so amazing, It looks so cool. The fighting, without the gloves, bare metal gloves. Like I love this sport. I want to do it so bad. Long story short, I still competed the judo at 2000 end of 2004 New York Open. I was competing in New York Open against the number one German guy. Uh, in the semis, the winner of that was gonna face Japanese number one fighter for the gold. So he was fighting against Czech Republic and Japan, and it was me and the German. He picked me up in the air. I switched it so I don't get tossed. Uh, I landed on my shoulder, the same shoulder that I popped out in the Ultimate Fighter against the homie Nate Diaz.
Mm.
So I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. From the on the mat. Carl Parisian, my cousin, he helped me, and the referees they helped me so I can come off the mat because I couldn't even move my shoulder. I was like, I thought I broke my shoulder. I got off the mat. Obviously, I can't even compete for the second or third place because the Japanese guy beat the Czech Republic guy, and so I can't even continue to because there was double third places. When it's a big
Mm-hmm.
tournament in judo, there's two third places, silver and a gold. So I didn't end up competing because I was so hurt. They took me to the emergency room. I
Mm.
was there for like God knows how many hours.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then I got back. It was 2005 already. I'm still rehabbing my shoulder, and I still love judo, obviously. And then end of 2005, I got a phone call from Joe Silva, ex UFC matchmaker. He said, Manny, December 27th, Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz are the main event. You willing to fight? I said, of course. I got excited. I got this, that, and then I got hurt. I got hurt bad, and I got cut too on my eyebrow. And we called the UFC. And I can't do it. So long story short, 2006, beginning of 2006, again Joe Silva called. He goes, Manny, we'll get you another fight again if you want. But again, I have a news for you. I said, what's up? He goes, first time we're doing a one weight class. It's gonna be the Ultimate Fighter Top 5. BJ Penn and James Palvar are going to be the coaches. "Are you willing to do the Ultimate Fighter?" I said, "Oh hell no." I said, "There's no way I can do it." 16 dudes in the same house, no phones, no friends, nothing, just 16. I said, he goes, "Manny, it's something big and it's growing. I think you
Right.
should do it. Don't feel bad. We're still gonna give you another chance to fight in the UFC. We know you got hurt, but we'll give you another chance. But on top of that, I think you should do the Ultimate Fighter." I said, "You know what?" He goes, "Think about it and call me back in like 1 hour. Talk to your parents, talk to your coaches." So I hung up the phone. I told my mom and my dad, I'm like, "This is what's going on. You guys should think I should do this." And I explained it to them. I said, "There's gonna be 16 guys in the house. We're gonna live there. We're gonna eat there. We're gonna cook like everything. We're gonna fight there. Everything's gonna happen there." I
Mhm.
put season number 1, 2, 3. They watched it. My dad said, "It looks kind of cool. I think you should try it. Why not?"
Right.
So I called Joseph. I said, "I'm in." He goes, "Yeah, man, but you gotta go for the qualifiers. This and that. Like they have to interview you. If they like you, this and that, they'll pick you. Then
Right.
you're able to do it." So I went to the Ultimate Fighter interview. Kurt Peligian, I don't remember the other two people that were sitting there. I went for the interview. I walked in. Kurt Peligian is a half Armenian. He's a funny dude. The owner of the Spike TV.
Mhm.
And I walked in. He looked at my face. He goes, "Hey." I said, "What's up? How are you?" He said, "I'm good. How are you?" He said, "Well, you're a small guy. You're short. Do you want to do the Ultimate Fighter? This 150 pounders they're too big and strong for you." And I looked at his face and I said, "I'm Armenian. Always remember, big things come in small packages. You want to pick me? I'll win the show. You don't want to pick me? Have a wonderful day." And I shook his hand and I walked out. And once I walked out, I'm like, "Dude, did I do the right thing? Or I just shit?" I'm like, I don't think I did the right thing. I didn't even had the chance to sit down and talk with them.
Right.
Long story short, next day they called me. Joseph goes, go do the medicals. So I did the medicals and I got picked and we went for the Ultimate Fighter. January 21st, 2006. We joined to the Ultimate Fighter. We went in there and I met all the good people, I still have contact with. Joe
Mhm.
Lozon, Greg Maynard, Nathan Diaz, Rob Emerson, Cole Miller, and the list goes on.
Yeah.
It was a
Let, let's
great experience.
Yeah, let's take a break because I want to go back a little bit more to the beginning. When exactly did you start training with Gokor and Jean LeBell?
1991, October.
1991. So that I mean that's a number of years ago. What was your training like? I mean, two legends in our sport, right? What was it like training with them in the very beginning? What was your first experience?
I met Sensei Gene 1993, to be honest. End of 1992. He came in and everyone said this is Judo Gene LeBell. And obviously, I didn't know who he was. I was
Right.
fresh off the boat from Armenia. My English was broken, and I I didn't know who he was, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But again, he was Sensei Gene was a mentor. He was a great human being. I had so many great memories with him. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
amazing times.
Gene LeBell, as you may have seen in my promo video, I was involved in professional wrestling as well as martial arts, and Gene LeBell was the epitome of both, right? He was both a pro wrestler as well as a legend again in martial arts, and has had the opportunity to train a lot of people such as yourself. What is one thing that you remember most about him, and what were some of the things that you took with you as you went into other fights and your continued training?
His humor was the
Yeah.
first. He had such a great humor, and he was just a genuinely an amazing person. And he loved my work ethic because when I was training, I never knew what easy day or easy training was.
Mhm.
I I gave my all every training. and he loved it. I was the first one to come into the dojo, and I was the last one to leave the dojo.
Yeah.
And he always admired me. He always said, you should you should do big things in your life. Your dedication and your motivation is on different level. I said, thank you so much. I really and he used to always stay with me so he can lock the door. I would have
Hmm.
always, say, Sensei Jin, will you stay a little bit? I have to do more pull ups, I have to do push ups, I have to do sit ups, and I had to do uchikomi for judo. He goes, I will be here until you're done.
Wow.
So yeah, he was always there. He was always there for me.
Amazing. And training with Gokor, what was that like?
Living legend. So many. I learned my whole career with it from him. My first and only coach that I had in my life. When I met Gokor, it was 1991, and he knew that I'm a hard worker. I should do big things in my life, as like Sensei Jin LeBell. Uh, Learned so many techniques, learned so many stuff from him.
What made you choose their gym coming from Armenia to the United States? What made you choose that
That
gym
was the
in
only gym. That was the only Armenian gym we had. Gokor was the
hmm,
only one that time, and he was known. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go train with him.
yeah. Now, did you do any training when you were in Armenia? Did you do any martial arts training?
No, no.
No, just sports, younger sports.
I was just a
Uh,
bad kid. I was just a young, bad kid. 7, 8 years old. I was fighting everyone on my street. That's it.
yeah.
Troublemaker.
What was it like growing up in Armenia?
I don't remember much, to be honest. My growing up is in LA. I grew up in LA. I live
Hmm.
in LA almost 32 years now.
Hmm.
Uh, I remember here and there sometimes. You know, in Armenia, the little city I was born in.
Hmm.
Obviously, when I went back a year ago, I went there. I went to visit my home in Armenia. My friends. I don't. Obviously, I didn't have much friends. I was 8 years old. So,
Hmm.
but it's always a good time when I go back there.
Now, I understand that you are also a coach to Ronda Rossi at Hayastan. What was your relationship with Ronda Rossi like?
Me and Ronda Rousey, we grew up training together. We spent so much time together. We spent so many techniques together. When she popped her knee, when she was 15, 16 years old, I used to open the gym for her every single day, 5 times a week, and we used to grapple for 1 hour, 2 hours straight.
Hmm.
I used to spend so much time with her. She was one of the hardest workers too,
Yeah.
and we looked up for each other. We grew up training together, and I have so much memory with her too.
Yeah. She had an amazing career in UFC and as a fighter. What were your thoughts when she went to the WWE?
That's where the money's at, right? She retired from the MMA, and she had the opportunity to go to WWE, and she was making good money there. Why not? If I
Yeah.
was in her shoes too, I would have done the same thing.
So back to the Ultimate Fighter, right? You talked a little bit about the experience of making it on the show, but once you were on the show and living in the house, what was that experience like for you?
Oh my
Was it
god.
a good experience or was it just a crazy
It was one
experience?
of the toughest things I've ever done in my whole entire life. Dealing with 16 dudes in the same house and the same time you're about to fight those people.
Right.
It's Everything is real. Nothing literally nothing is fixed on the Ultimate Fighter.
Hmm.
When Dana talks about like the is this is real as it gets, it's really as it gets. You just get bored. You just get irritated. You just get frustrated just by living with those people that you're gonna fight with.
Hmm.
You eat with them, you sleep with them, you hang out with them, you spend time with them. It's just weird. I don't want to see my opponent before my fights or training camp.
Right, right, right. Talk about some of the relationships. You talked about some of the guys that you met in the house and developed relationships over the years and competed against. Talk about some of those competitors.
I mean, Nate, I still have contact with him. I see him. We hang out. We do a lot of stuff together whenever he's in town. We even go to vote a spa together. It's a Russian spa. We hang out sometime. I have contact with Joe Lazan. Is such an amazing person. Great guy. Gray Maynard, Cole Miller. I see Rob Emerson here and there. Uh, the rest of the guys, I don't see it anymore. I mean, Matt Weimer was tough as nails. Get Rudiger, obviously, I never got to hang out with him. I never liked him, so. But the show was legit. They were all killers. They
Mm-hmm.
came to win the show, each and every one of them.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier that your first fight, and I don't know if this is I don't think that we're talking about your MMA career, but you lost your first fight. Was that your MMA career or was that in judo? You lost
No,
your
no,
first.
judo. The junior nationals,
Mm-hmm.
1994. I I lost my first match, and then I had to win 9 fights in a row to face the same guy again.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to beat him once, and it was 1-1. I have to beat him again.
And how old were you then?
13.
13. Well, do you remember your mindset at all at 13 years old?
Hun-
Just starting out, your first loss. How did you feel?
I felt horrible, and I looked at my dad. He was in the crowd. I said, "Oh, it's gonna be a long day, and I'm here to win the whole thing. It's gonna
Right.
be a long day." He goes, "Don't give up. Let's go one at a time."
Was your
And I
dad a
kept,
huge inspiration in your
yeah,
judo and
yeah,
MMA career?
yeah. Of course, my dad. They sacrificed. My mom, my dad. They sacrificed for our future. My brother is a great musician, and I was in the sports for my whole life.
Hmm. Now talk about, getting that first fight in the UFC. Um, having competed as a teen all the way up and then being on, the biggest stage of them all when it comes to mixed martial arts. What was that first fight in the UFC? What was your experience like? What were you feeling?
I was feeling nervous, to be honest, when I was fighting the Ultimate Fighter in the house. The reason, what like I said, when I walked into the house, I said, "I'm here to win. I'm not here
Mm-hmm.
for the show. I'm not a show guy. I'm here
Mm-hmm.
to win this fucking thing. Let's go. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm gonna beat all of you guys." I even told all the homies when I walked in, I'm like, "I'm winning the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
No one's beating me." And when Noah Thomas, the reason I wanted to fight him because he thought he had the most experience. I said, "I'll beat you in the first round." So I ended up calling him out, and I won the fight. And then
Mm-hmm.
the reason that I wanted to fight, I just wanted to fight the best guys. The second round, I really wanted to fight either Gray Maynard or Joe Lazon.
And
And
why?
when
Why did you want to fight those guys?
Matt Wyman went up. When he won the fight, he looked at everyone. And he said, "What's up? What's up?" And he was mad dogging us. I'm like, you know what? I want to fight him next. He's a tough cookie. I want to fight him next. And then when I beat him next, and I really wanted to fight Nate in the house, either Nate or Joe Lazon. And when Dana said, "How about we do blue versus blue, red versus red?" Because it was yellow and gold, and it was blue. On the blue team was Gray Maynard and Joe Lazon in the semis, and the yellow and gold team was me and Nate. Uh, Dana said, "How about we do blue versus blue, yellow versus yellow, and the winner will have blue and yellow." And then Jens Papa got mad. He goes, "I'm confident on my two boys that they'll beat your boys," told BJ Penn. And so when Dana, they were sitting down, it was BJ Penn, Jens Pulver, and Dana White. And they were calling me, Nate, Joe Lazon, and Gray Maynard one at a time, and who I want to fight. And I walked in there, I'm like, doesn't matter who I fight. I'll fight all three of them. I don't care. Give me the best guy. He goes, "Do you want to fight Joe?" I said, "I think I should fight Joe Lazon because he's a favorite, and he thinks he's the winner. He's going to win the show."
Mm-hmm.
And I just walked out. And then when we walked out, and then they came, and Dana and all said, "Manny Gamburyan versus Joe Lazon and Nate Diaz versus Gray Maynard." I'm like, I'll be in the finals. Anyways, I just had a confidence that I want to win the whole thing. And I beat Joe Lazon. And again, I hurt my shoulder during that time when I fought Joe Lazon. I
Mm-hmm.
hurt my shoulder in the semis again. I should have come home and got the surgery done and then fought Nate. But I'm like, you know what? I'm fighting Nate. on June 23rd. I'm not taking a break.
Hmm.
So it was tough, but it was tough, and I fought my whole career when I was hurt. It's never fair.
Right.
Uh, Being hurt and fighting. Uh, when I look at the UFC now, uh, I don't want to. I don't want to sound bad that so many CCs out there and they just get a little hurt and they just bounce. They don't want to fight. It's just you gotta show up. You think when the rumor I was never hurt when I was fighting? I was hurt my whole career when I was fighting. I never took like I pulled off 2 fights. One against Chad Mendes, I broke my elbow. Until today, I'm suffering. I can't strap my hand. Until today, I'm suffering. And versus who it was versus I forgot. I don't remember. I never take the easy road. I never pick and choose my fights. I never did. I told Dana, go like this. You stop. I'll fight him. I had a hard road before even going into the UFC, fighting all the top guys, even fighting Sam Morgan. I knocked out Jorge Santiago at the King of the Cage. He was a big dude too. I fought at 170 and I won the belt at the King of the Cage. Jorge Santiago was a huge guy. He was gigantic Brazilian. He was a big guy. And then Sam Morgan, and then Pat Benson, and then Sean Shirk, and then coming to the UFC, fighting all those top guys again, and
Hmm.
fighting from beginning to the end. And Thiago Tavares, Dennis Seaver, Diego Nunes, Jose Aldo, Mishihiro Omigawa, Tyson Griffin. It was just on top of everything. It was no easy fights, and I never liked the easy fights. And I
Right.
always wanted to challenge myself. I'm like, if I want to be the best, I gotta beat the best.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, the life as a fighter, like you said, a lot of guys are constantly uh, working through injuries and working through the pain and working through all those challenges. I mean, it's just not really an easy gig, right? I mean,
No,
any martial artist would tell you that we're always kind of training hurt and just trying to
of
overcome those
course,
obstacles,
we're
right?
never 100. There's no such a thing. You're 100%.
If you're training hard, it's kind of hard to be 100%, right?
Yes, 100%. There's no
Now,
way.
how was your training camps going into each one of your fights? Most people, they watch the UFC, they watch a pay-per-view, and they're like, they see the action, right? But walk us through a training day and what you go through to prepare for a fight. Talk about some of your diet, some of your workouts, some of your recovery techniques.
Let me start off from here. I never thought I was gonna make 155. First of all, I really never thought I could make 155. And then I made 155, and I thought personally I was the biggest 155 out there. And then when I saw those guys, I'm like, no way. And then when I had the chance to fight at 145, I thought I was the biggest 45er out there.
Hmm.
I was wrong again. I wasn't the biggest 45er. And then I said, you know what? And then when we come to the conclusion with Mike Dolce came up to me and said, Manny, please let me help you to drop to 135. Literally, I still can't believe until today that I made 135. I know I'm not a big guy. I'm only 5'5", but my frame is big. My hands are big. My body's big. I got big legs, big arms, big back. Like, I'm a big bone guy. I walk around like 175
Hmm.
with in shape. I'm like, Mike, but I walk around 175. There's no way I can make 135. He goes, I'll take the challenge. Let's do it. After Nick Len's fight, he came up to me in the octagon and I said, give me a chance to work with you. I said, you got my word. I shook his hand and said, let's do it. And from 175 to 135, I made 5 times. I made 135. Until today, I still can't believe how I made 135. It was hell. I had to do extra running, extra cardio, extra grubbling, extra wrestling, extra judo, extra rounds of sparring, no days off for running, That's how I used to make 135. I was struggling. When I was at 135, I was walking dead. So hard for me. Last
Yeah.
5 pounds, I don't know how I was doing it. I would look at myself and I was 140. I'm like, dude, I'm chiseled. Well, how am I going to lose another 4 or 5 pounds from here? But Mike Dolce and my dedication, my hard work helped me through this, and it was blessing, bro. It was blessing that until today I said, you know what, I've done something that it was very tough, and it was motivating myself that it was so hard that I'm still capable of doing this.
Yeah. Well, 40 pounds, that's a huge cut. A huge cut to go
Each
from
time,
175
40
to 130.
plus. Each time,
Yeah.
each training camp was 40 plus.
And what did a typical day look like for you? What time did you wake up? What was your first workout? What were you eating?
6:30, 7 o'clock. I had to hit the road until 8 o'clock. 1 hour running, coming home, doing conditioning, uh, light lifting, hitting mitts, sleep, wake up, go to wrestle, come back, and then at night it was either sparring or it was wrestling again or grappling.
And
And
were you taking
6 days a
care
week.
of your own diet, or did you have a diet plan that you were given?
My mom was cooking for me. My mom.
Yeah.
Whatever Dolce said, my mom was cooking for me.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. And of course, again, you've competed at 3 different weight classes. Where did you feel the best? What weight class was your
45.
favorite to compete? 45s?
45.
And why?
Uh, 45, you know what? It's tricky. I felt the best because I fought at 170. I fought at 55. I fought at 45. And I fought at 35. I never felt like anyone can bully me. No one bullied me, even at 170. I wrestled and I grappled and I fought. No one that came close to bullied me. At 55, no one even bullied me. They were just. I felt like they were bigger than me. Like
Mm-hmm.
Thiago Tavares. When I fought Thiago Tavares inside the octagon, I was 160 pounds. He was 185. So I was like, what am I doing here? Like, why am I giving these guys advantage?
Mm-hmm.
That's why when I was fighting at 145, I was 160 at the fight time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was fighting at 35, I was 155 fight time.
Wow. Wow. Is there anybody else that's fought at now 4 different weight classes?
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I, I,
That's it.
I
That's
believe
it.
when I fought Sean Sherk, it was a catch weight of 180, and then 170, and then I fought the 65, 67 to be exact, and then the 55, and then the 45, and then the 35.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
It was
crazy. So
just
but
up
but
and down, and
but 45s was your comfort zone. That was your
it was.
favorite spot.
It was. It was.
Now, tell us, because again, we watch the UFC on pay-per-view, we see it on TV. Fight day. What does that day look like, and all the production that goes along with it? Um, Training, fitting in interviews. What's a typical day like if it's a fight day for you?
Wake up in the morning, use the restroom, shower, shadow box, eat breakfast, rest, stretch a little bit, hang out with my friends, eat another small meal, and then go to arena.
Mm-hmm.
Easy like that. I never get
And,
nervous. I don't get nervous. I get more. I get excited.
mm-hmm. And once you get to the arena, what's that whole experience like walking in as a fighter? Because people walk in as a fan, they sit in their seat and they enjoy the show. What's that like for you once you get there?
Once I walk in, I'm like, I can't wait to finish. I can't
Right.
wait to fight. I don't want to be in the locker room. I wanna fight.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as they wrap my hands, it's over. It's done. I won't sit down 1 second. I just want to go out there and fight.
Hey, well, quick shout out to Gabby. Gabby Abdelgadir is watching, and she said, "God bless your mom for cooking all those meals for you while you were getting ready for your fights." So,
Thank
just
you.
wanted to
Thank
share
you. I
that with
appreciate
you.
it.
Guys, listen, if anybody's watching here live and you have any questions for Manny, please feel free to drop any questions so we can ask him. Nicknames, right? You started with the Pitbull, but that name was kind of taken and you
I
changed
started with
to the
I
anvil.
started with the Real Deal.
Okay,
Randy Greenman. He named me Real Deal because of I never back down any fights.
mm-hmm.
Whoever he puts in front of me, I got it. I'm fighting. He goes, "You're the real deal, man." I love it, and I love the nickname because it was my favorite boxer, Evander Holyfield's nickname. So I'm like, I don't want to copy him, but he's one of my favorite boxers of all time. So they call me Real Deal, and then Carl Parisian, and my other friends, 5 training partners. They're like, "Man, you're a pit bull, man. You got to go with the pit bull." I'm like, all right, let's go with the pit bull. And then over the years, when I go join to UFC, Carlos said you should go through a Tasmanian devil. I'm like, no. And then on the show, they came up with the anvil. Brian Garrity was the guy. I said, man, this guy, there's no way this guy is 155 pounds, man. He lands on you, he's like 300 pounds. It feels like an anvil. I'm like, what is an anvil? So they explained it to me. I'm like, all right, and then they started calling me Anvil. They weren't even calling me Manny anymore. Anvil. I'm like, all right, I guess I got the Anvil.
And so you talked about Evander Holyfield. What made him one of your favorite fighters?
His style, his passion, the way he fought, the way he never backed down, the way his control inside the ring. It was amazing.
Who is your toughest opponent?
Either Thiago Tavares or Tyson Griffin.
Mm-hmm. And what made them both so
I
tough?
believe I beat Tyson Griffin, and believe I beat steroids head Dennis Seaver, and I still believe I beat Diego Nunes. So
What would you say? Well, let's go back. You talked a little bit about your friendship with Nate Diaz. Was there ever any legit heat between the two of you guys?
never,
No.
never. Nate's a homie. Nate's a super nice guy, man.
Yeah.
I saw him recently at the airport, and then we yelled, we hugged, and we had a drink together, and then we went to the UFC together.
Yeah, it's funny. I was at a martial arts super show many years ago, and standing in line at Starbucks, right? And of course, Nate Diaz was standing right in front of me, and turned around. We had a great conversation, for a few minutes, asking me about my school and different stuff. I had never met him before, but yeah, my impression of him, maybe on the show or on TV, was very different than how he portrayed himself, in person.
Super nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing guy.
So tell me, what are your goals and plans now? Are you officially retired? Are you gonna make another run to fight?
Not a run. No, there's no way I'll come back to make it a run. Fighting is young man's sport. I'll be 42 in a month and a half. But the good part is, I don't do drugs. Uh, I don't smoke weed. I drink once in a while. And the only bad thing I do, I eat wrong. I don't eat wrong. It's just I don't have a diet. I'm not fat. I'm still in good shape. I'm not in fight shape, but I'm still in good shape. I work out a lot, but I still believe I have one more fight in me.
One
One more
more.
fight. One more. Well, I'm still under contract with the UFC. I still have one more fight in my contract. Am I retired? Yes, I am. Am I willing to make it a comeback? Sure. But there's only one specific fight out there. Is like that's gonna make me come back. So everyone knows, and I'm not gonna talk about it. But yeah, that's the only fight. But we're both retired, so it's not fair. And it's just I just never had the opportunity to share the octagon or the cage with him. It was weird, but I just never had the opportunity. But I respect him, and he's whatever he's done in the sport, 100%.
So you're not going to tell me who this is?
It's your favor.
Nice. So that would be the fight. That would be the comeback fight for you.
100%. But we're both retired. We're both family man. He's got kids. I got kids. I got wife. He's got wife. He's got business. I got family and friends. So if it happens one day, I hope it happens soon. If not, then God bless him. He's a he's a a phenomenal example of the lightweights. Love him or hate him, he is the goat in the lightweights.
Hmm.
He is the legend in the lightweights. Growing up watching him fight, he had a fantastic style. Coming to the 145, that was my main goal. I remember until today Dana White and Lorenzo Fertitta brothers, Frank, when I was getting ready to fight Thiago Tavares. Lorenzo came to the locker room. He said, "Manny, if you can drop to 145, we'll give you an immediate title fight with Uriah Faber." I'm like, Lorenzo, there's no way I can make 145.
Hmm.
But again, I made to the 45. He was a champion. Okay, when I went to this is a great story. I can tell you this. When I got ready to, I said, and I announced that I'm dropping to 145. They gave me an undefeated John Frenchie. They're like, if you beat John Frenchie, most likely we'll give you a title fight. I beat John Frenchie, and then a couple of months later, they call me and goes, Manny, we want you to fight Leonard Garcia. I was like, I thought I was getting a title shot. He goes, you beat Leonard Garcia, we'll give you a title shot. I fought Leonard Garcia. I beat Leonard Garcia. I'm very confident that I'm going to get a title shot. And then they're like, Manny, Uriah Faber and Jose Aldo are going to headline. And we really want you, winner of you and Mike Brown, to fight the winner.
Hmm.
April 24th. I'm like, what? That's the Armenian genocide day. He goes, yeah. Were you willing to fight Mike Brown? I'm like, I would like to fight for the belt, but if you guys want me to fight Mike Brown on April 24th, count me in. I'm in. So they made it happen in Sacramento. Arco Arena sold out. Crazy evening, and I knocked out Mike Brown, and I'm sitting there and I'm begging. That time I didn't know I wasn't following Jose Aldo. I'm begging Uriah Faber to win, and I want to make it happen. And we're gonna come back to Arco Arena. I want to fight him in the Arco Arena. And Mike Jose Aldo obviously beat him fair and square, and
Mm-hmm.
and I knew. And Dana said 100% Manny Gamburyan is getting a title fight versus Jose Aldo on September 30th at Broomfield, Colorado. So I lost, he won, and then he decided to drop to 135. I was still 145, and then I was of UFC fighting Nick Lanz at 45. Mike Dolce came up and goes, "Man, let's make it 135." So my goal again was to drop to 135,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully face Uriah Faber again. I beat who was the first guy I beat? Cody Gibson. And then they offered me uh, Scott Jorgensen. And then I beat Scott Jorgensen. I was confident that I'm gonna get Uriah next. And
Mm-hmm.
then didn't end up, and they gave me John Dotson. So something always flew off me fighting Uriah. But again, I respect him so much. I I think he is the lightweight goat. But again, if God willing it, if it ever happens, I won't fight anywhere else. It's got to be in the UFC.
Yeah.
I have a great relationship with the UFC. I have a great relationship with Dana White, and I'm a loyal guy. I'll never go anywhere else. Uh, I won't go to Bellator or F1 FC, this and that. No, I would like to finish it in the UFC. But if that never happens, it's all good. If that doesn't happen, if it doesn't happen, I'll stay retired and I'll enjoy my family and my kids.
Good for you. Well, let's see if it does ever happen. But is there anybody else that you never had the opportunity to face that you wish you would have had that opportunity?
Rematch against Rob Emerson. Rematch.
Nice.
100%. Never happened,
Well,
but it's okay. He's a tough guy too, and he's a great guy. And I see him. He's from Irvine. He's got a great camp going on, great trainings going on. He's got great fighters. So happy for him.
Great. Well, listen, it's been a great time just chatting with you today. Appreciate you sharing your experience and your stories and the history behind you coming to the States and becoming a judo champion and then coming into the UFC, fighting in the Ultimate Fighter, fighting in several different weight classes. Let's see if that fight ever happens with you and Uriah. But if not, enjoy your retirement and thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on. God bless you all, and we'll link up again for sure.
All right, sir. Well, take care. Have a great day. And guys, we'll see you next time on the Master Motivation Podcast. Go check it out on YouTube. Please make sure to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.